everybody, back to the JV Sports Room. As usual, your host, JDino, the other half of the team behind the scenes, my man Vince.
Yeah.
Holding down the Kobe corner and the starting center spot, my man Big J. Welcome back to the show, baby.
Yeah, we back, baby. Let's get it.
Yes, sir. My man J Money couldn't make it, but on his behalf, we're going to start off with these 49ers and how they somehow have made it into the NFC Championship.
They're here, man. They're here. And what, number 6 seed?
Yeah.
Going into the playoffs. Big win against Dallas 2 weeks ago. And now we're here.
I mean, but as J Money would say, you got to remember, they only 2 years removed from the Super Bowl. So,
they are.
Look, they here for a reason. They beat up on these Green Bay Packers this past week. How you feel about that?
I mean, it was not the most exciting game, I would say, out of the bunch, but they did what they had to do.
Yeah.
The defense controlled Green Bay's offense. I think we only got production from Devontae Adams and Aaron Jones.
I mean, I think Dylan got in for a touchdown, but outside of that, yeah, it was just a two-man show.
Yeah, I mean, it's 13-10.
Aaron Rodgers needs more weapons, man. How many times are we going to shout this for this guy?
This has been something that I know we've been talking about for a very long time. All the years, year after year, drafted, different drafts, passing up on wide receivers by the likes of, I know 1 year, Brandon Ayuk, they passed up on, and all these great young wide receivers.
So many free agents, they find themselves not
DK
really.
Metcalf.
Yeah. DK Metcalf was a huge when they missed out on. But so many free agents, they don't go after.
No, that's not their forte.
Yeah, man. So once again, Green Bay goes down because Aaron Rodgers doesn't have enough weapons to these 49ers who, to be honest with you, man, it looked like it was the defense and the special teams that stole the show for those Niners.
You called it, bro. Defense, special teams. Defense side, Nick Bosa, Eric Armstead.
Yeah, it seemed like Nick Bosa and Armstead were laying on Rodgers half the game, man.
They both had 2 sacks each.
Yeah.
And then you mentioned as well the special teams with the block field goal early going into the half. That was huge.
Defensive touchdown, man.
And
that's
then
humongous.
The punt at the end of the game, that block punt. The Green Bay special teams, whoever the Green Bay special teams coach is, Matt LaFleur, you might really need to look into getting this guy out of here because you got, like we mentioned, the block field goal, the block punt for the touchdown, and the game-winning kick. Yeah. That San Francisco kick. Green Bay only had 10 men on the field. So special teams coordinator
can't allow that.
You might have to get out of here,
man. That's tough, man. That cost him the game, man.
It cost him the game.
It really did, man. And now these Niners go on the road to play division rival Rams. But before we get into that matchup, let's talk about how these Rams stole the game from Tom Brady and these BUCS.
It was almost getting kind of scary there for a second. The Rams, like we've seen in the past Super Bowl with Atlanta, the Rams were up, I think it was like 24 at one point. And then we started to see the GOAT Tom Brady do Tom Brady things.
It was awesome. I was watching it and it seemed like the tale of more than two halves because it was like a good 2.5 quarters that Brady and the BUCS couldn't get it going. But you know what? When they did and they started clicking, Brady's a scary man. And he was starting to find everybody, especially that guy Mike Evans.
Mike Evans, we talked about him last week.
Up, man. Yeah. He had a huge game. We said he would get shut down by Jalen Ramsey, and that didn't happen.
He did, for sure.
But yeah, man, it was cool, man, to see, that game as it progressed and how the Rams controlled it for the first 2.5 quarters. And then Brady was like, hey, hold on, I'm not going out without a fight, right? But then who shows up at the end of the game? Mr. Consistent, Mr. Triple Crown. Cooper Kupp. I mean,
huge catches at the end of the game.
Humongous.
To seal the game. I mean, at the end of the day, I remember I text you guys, I'm like, how do you leave Cooper Kupp single covered by a safety at the end of the game? Like, the game...
Insane.
It doesn't make sense to me. Tampa deserved to lose this game. The boys came to play. Von Miller, sack. Aaron Donald, sack. Leonard Floyd, sack. They got after Tom Brady. Whether it was sacks or quarterback pressure, we saw, the lipstick meme with Tom Brady. He got a little jacked up, little blood on his lip. At the end of the day, I mean, Tampa Bay deserved to lose. They went 3 for 14 on 3rd down. That's unacceptable in the playoffs. That's a sign to this defense. This LA Rams defense is
for real, man.
Legit.
That defense is for real. And to be honest with you, it's just as consistent nowadays and productive as their offense. Their offense was clicking on all cylinders. You know, we talked about how they got Cam Akers back and he got back involved. He was running the ball great. Yep. OBJ is a humongous piece for them in these playoffs.
Huge. He went, 6 for 60, something like that?
Yeah, Higbee, another solid game, man. They have pieces on both sides of the ball that are really allowing them to look like they could be a favorite in these Super Bowls. The Rams really want this championship in SoFi to happen for real, right?
Yeah, they saw Tampa Bay do it last year. They want to do it the same
jealous,
year,
right? So I mean, hey, but my question is, where do these Bucs go from here, man? It's like, you know, so many things that could happen in the offseason between Brady, does he come back? Gronk, do they get him back? AB's obviously out of there.
He's out of there.
A couple of those linemen were only there protecting Tom Brady. They could be gone. Godwin's a free agent. Like, where do these Bucs go from here?
These are all great points. I was having a conversation with a big Bucs fan the other day, and we were talking about this, and it's hard to say. Me personally, do I think this is the last we've seen of Tom Brady? I think not. I think he's too much of a competitor to go out like this. It's going to be interesting where they do go. Let's say Brady does leave. Let's say Gronk does, leave and join the military and finally get USAA. We could be looking at a mediocre team for a long time, like the Bucs of the past with the Jameis Winston years.
It's almost as if they'll have pretty much retracted back about 3 years to what they were, right? They were the Mike Evans show on offense and a subpar defense. Look, I feel for these Bucs fans, man. They could see. They could have seen the last of a good little run.
But they got a Super Bowl out of it.
They did.
So, like the conversation I was having with my buddy is, you got a Super Bowl out of it. So I guess it's all worth it at the end of the day. So,
and you got to see Tom Brady for a couple years. So I mean, hey, you got memories.
It's still too early. I think the boys will be back. I think they'll be back maybe for one more run. But it's gonna be interesting to see during the offseason how this all transpires. But
agreed.
Tough loss, man. Tough loss.
Agreed. Well, switching over to the AFC side, though. All right,
let's do it.
I'm not gonna lie. I was a little shocked by the way Tennessee lost to them Cincinnati Bengals. I mean, I know you weren't shocked about it at all because you've been talking up these Bengals, but I really thought the physicality, the physical play of the Tennessee Titans would control this game. And I mean, tell us about this game, man. I know it was no surprise to you, Bengals fan.
Hey, I'm, my team's out of it, but man, it's hard not to like these Bengals, man.
They're fun.
These Bengals came to Cashville, Tennessee. They came to play. It wasn't the fireworks show that we expected, but the boys came to play. Jamar Chase, over 100 yards receiving. T. Higgins, over 96 yards receiving. Mind you, Jamar Chase makes NFL history being the youngest player to have consecutive games in the playoffs of over 100 yards receiving. So another record for this young phenom to break. But the thing about this game was the play of Ryan Tannehill.
Yeah.
When you come out the gate and the coin flip and you have the ball and your first possession, your first play of the game is an interception.
Yeah.
And then you follow that up with 2 more interceptions for a total of 3, one being the game-clinching interception. Ryan Tannehill, you got to play better.
Yeah, I mean, have Tennessee maybe seen the last of Ryan Tannehill? I mean, he was never anything special.
No, man.
And obviously he did nothing in Miami. He comes here and he has a great offensive weapon in A.J. Brown, a fantastic run game, and, people try to give him flowers a little too early, and he proved that he's really not that guy. I mean,
he's not. I mean, he got a running game this game. I mean, combined between Derrick Henry and Deontay Foreman, they both had about 60-some yards rushing. Derrick Henry had the touchdown. Good to see Derrick Henry back, by the way.
Absolutely.
But yeah, no, Ryan Tannehill is. I think he is what he is. He's a it's a good quarterback. But he's not going to win you games.
Yeah, I think Tennessee is going to find themselves in this situation very often as long as Tannehill's still their quarterback.
Absolutely, I agree.
I think they may have to go shopping soon. whether it's in the draft or maybe bringing a free agent to challenge him. So I don't know. But them Tennessee Titans are out of there.
Yep.
And now the Cincinnati Bengals go on the road to Kansas City to play the Chiefs, who were in a thriller, an absolute thriller with the Buffalo Bills. Man. Could that game have been any more entertaining?
Yeah.
I mean, let's be real. That is two of the absolute most fun quarterbacks to watch in the NFL, right?
Yep, number 1 and number 2 right now. And you argue who you want 1 and 2, but man, the way Josh Allen played that game, I just have to throw Josh Allen out there first, man, because I hate to see somebody play so well.
Yeah.
You know, mind you, in 2 combined games, he had 9 total touchdowns. 5 against New England, 4 against KC. Somebody play so well and have their run come to an end by a coin flip.
It's tough, man. It's tough.
It's a tough out, man.
It's tough, man. NFL, he played phenomenal, man. He brought him back. You know, at the end, the final drive. I mean, that's what you do is you leave the other team 13 seconds.
Yeah, he did everything he had to do.
Unless it's Patty Mahomes, right?
It's Patrick Mahomes,
Mr.
Man.
13 seconds.
Yeah.
Huge, man. I mean,
what he's able to do with the ball in his hands is amazing. I don't think the angles he throws the ball, blindfolded, one arm tied behind his back. I mean, it's amazing what he's able to do. But the thing about Patty Mahomes that doesn't really get talked about a lot is what he's able to do on the ground, running the ball.
Yeah.
He had 60 yards rushing, and what he's able to do getting the first downs and picking up 20, 10 yards when the team needs him. He runs like a 70-year-old grandpa, but he ends up getting the yards on the ground when the team needs it the most.
He gets it done with his feet, man. I couldn't agree more. Like this guy, I think you said 69 yards on the ground, and like a lot of it was it's just all about precision and timing. Like the guy is the absolute best at playing the line of scrimmage and the sidelines, like and defenders. Every time they think they're going to be able to come up on him and get to him, he's able to make a nice little dump pass. Like it's so hard to play against him.
Yeah.
But yeah, shout out to Patty Mahomes, man, making it to another AFC championship.
Yeah, had that rushing touchdown. And how he was able to get in there, man.
Man, it was amazing. He looked like Superman on the sidelines, right?
Running like a grandpa though. Man. I just don't see. I don't understand how he does it, man. But
it's just how smart he is, man. Yeah. How smart and how canny. Mm-hmm. Like the guy is nothing short of miraculous. It is prime time football watching that guy play.
What he did in those 13 seconds was amazing. But at the same time, that Buffalo defense, man. I mean, I'm watching the game and that final drive. Number 39. Didn't catch his name, but I mean, he's out there in the open, got Travis Kelce in front of him, and just gives him so much space, and just wide open catch, no touching, and runs, and that's what sets up the field goal. It's
terrible defense.
Terrible, man. I hate Josh Allen to go out like that, but another player that played a great game, who I have to give his flowers.
I think I know who it
is Sanford's own Seminole High School alumni, University of Central Florida alumni, Gabriel Davis.
Man,
that boy came to play.
I was gonna mention him to you. 4 touchdowns, over 200 yards, right?
Yep.
And actually, this is a question that I'm gonna ask you now. Is him and Stefan Diggs become a 1A and 1B in that offense? Because at wide receiver, because that guy has stepped up in these playoffs.
The only knock on Gabriel Davis right now is just the consistency. The consistency of play is not there. But when he's on, he's on. I mean, he's a high touchdown guy, big body receiver. He did it at UCF. He's doing it in the NFL. He just needs consistency. They don't play him as well. They bring in, Manuel Sanders. They have Cole Beasley. Isaiah McKenzie's involved as well. I think going into next year, for sure, I think Stefan Diggs, Gabriel Davis should be the number 1, number 2 on that team.
Absolutely.
But no, I just had to shed some love on Gabriel Davis.
Absolutely. He had a phenomenal game.
KC stole the show, man, as usual. And like you mentioned, them young boys in Cincinnati, go to KC. It's going to be a fun one.
It's going to be a fun one.
Going to be a fun one.
All right, well, since we touched on all the games, that takes us straight to the Who You Got segment of the show. Who you got?
Who do I got?
I mean, I know who I got. You know who you got?
I know who I got. Who do you got?
All right, so let's kick it off with the 3 o'clock game. Them Cincinnati Bengals that you are so high on.
Yes, sir.
Going to KC, who you got?
You've mentioned it, Cincinnati going to KC. Right now, Vegas got the line, KC -7. Sunday, 3 o'clock. They played recently. We saw that thriller. Those were week 17, I believe they played. Burrow went crazy, threw for 446, 4 touchdowns. Jamar Chase, 11 receptions, 266 yards and 3 touchdowns. Man, the key to this one is KC has to get consistent pressure. I mean, we saw this last week, what Tennessee was able to do. They got to Joe Burrow 9 times, stacked him 9 times. That's the downfall to Cincinnati right now, is that offensive line. But when you have them boys, Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, running the rock, Joe Mixon, Tyler Boyd, you got those boys, you can make some noise. But look for Frank Clark, Melvin Ingram, and Chris Jones to get after him. Who do I got?
Who you got? That's the segment of the show.
Who they say gonna beat them Bengals? The Kansas City Chiefs. I got the Chiefs.
smart man. Smart man.
Chiefs, man. I got the Chiefs. Who you got?
I love what the Bengals have done. They have been everything short of surprising this season. Shout out to them.
Yeah.
But I think you said it. Patty Mahomes has these guys riled up, ready to go. We haven't seen anybody else in the AFC represent the Super Bowl besides these Chiefs for the last 4 seasons now.
Right.
I don't see that changing.
I don't either.
Patty Mahomes knows how to get it done in the playoffs.
Man. The ride was great. It was a beautiful ride we got here with them young boys. Jamar Chase breaking records. Joe Burrow playing out of his mind. But the train comes to a halt here.
Yeah. I think we both got these Kansas City Chiefs going straight back to the Super Bowl.
Threw you for a little curveball.
Yeah, okay.
Hey, but Sunday, 6:30 in Los Angeles, SoFi Stadium. J Money's San Francisco 49ers coming to see them Los Angeles Rams. Who you got?
I'm going to do my man J Money and my man Brian Kittle, because I know you out there watching. I'm going to do them a favor because they keep telling me as long as I keep betting against their 49ers, they keep winning. So I'm going with the Los Angeles Rams to win this game.
I like it.
No, seriously though. I'm going with them on the strength of they are clicking on all cylinders. Their offense is almost unstoppable at this point in time.
Yep.
That defense brings constant pressure.
Yes, sir.
Los Angeles Rams going to represent in the Super Bowl
in SoFi
against the Kansas City Chiefs.
I like it, brother. I do like it. This is the rubber match. They're both NFC West rivals. They played twice this year. San Francisco has whooped up on the Rams twice. They beat them twice this year. Los Angeles is -3.5. It's at home. J Money, I got you back, brother. I'm taking the San Francisco 49ers.
Very nice.
To spoil the homecoming in SoFi. They beat them twice. They know something we don't know. They know something that Tampa didn't know. They get it done on the ground. Garoppolo does enough. The defense gets after Stafford. Stafford makes mistakes. I got them 49ers. 49ers, Chiefs, Super Bowl.
Rematch of 2 years ago.
2 years ago. We all knew it. We all remembered it. 2 years. Rematch. Chiefs, 49ers. J Money, who you got?
All right, so as usual, we're going to cross over into the NBA. Over in the Kobe Corner. Kobe Corner certified. My man Big J. Appreciate you sliding over, man.
Yes, sir.
But it's game time. So we're going to go small in the lineup. We're going to bring in a guard. Central Florida's own. Lake Mineola and South Lake alumni. Committed to Southeastern University. I'd like to bring to the show my man Isaiah. What's up, bro? Appreciate you joining the show.
Man.
Appreciate y'all for having me, man. First off, a little bit about me. I play point guard, shooting guard sometimes. Went to Lake Mineola first 2 years, freshman and sophomore. ended up transferring over to Southlake. Had a great 2 seasons over there. You know, won some playoff games. You know, hit some game winners in the district playoffs.
Nice.
And then, you know, ultimately I made the decision to go to Southeastern. Just, you know, the school. You know, I'm really big on academics. That was a big thing for me. And then, you know, just some of my friends committed there as well. So it was just the perfect place for me.
Nice.
Dope.
Nice.
Dope.
All right, perfect, man. Hey, I appreciate you joining the show, man. You got any specific players or teams that you've committed to that you find yourself watching or liking?
Yeah, so growing up, I was a real big LeBron fan. Never had a specific team. Just stuck with LeBron, you know, Miami, Cleveland, now LA. But, you know, ever since, you know, Memphis drafted Ja, I've been real big on Ja Morant. I love his story. I'm really high on him. So right now, Memphis is the team that I'm with.
Nice. Okay. Yeah, it's not a bad team. Hey, but
This has become the Ja Morant show now, man. We love Ja Morant.
yeah, bro. We surely do, man. All right, but another team that you just found yourself joining is this JD Sports team. Can we get a hat for this guy, man? Appreciate you joining the team, brother.
Appreciate you, man. Love the merch.
Hey, before we dive deep into NBA, man, what's the most points you scored in a game?
In high school, I had, I think the most I had was about 30.
Okay.
Nice.
Average about 15.
Now,
Okay.
you say you're a point guard. Are you a playmaker? You a score first? Like, what how do you model your game?
I'd like to think of myself as a playmaker, but if you need me to go score the basketball, I can go score the basketball.
I like it.
So whatever you need, I can do it.
I've had the opportunity of watching Isaiah in a few of his games. I've known this guy a long time, man. He can get a bucket when you need him to, but he likes to start the game off nice and cool and get his team involved. But yeah, he can go get you a bucket for sure.
Cool.
Kind of like that guy, Ja Morant, man. You find yourself modeling yourself after Ja a little bit in the game?
Yeah, but I don't have the athleticism that he does. But
I don't think anybody does.
But yeah, he's just so crafty with it. You know, has to get a guy, knows how to use his body and stuff. You know, get a guy behind him and just,
And that jumper's coming along a little bit too. It's a lot more consistent.
Once that jumper starts flowing, it's a wrap.
Yeah, he's making a name for himself in the NBA. Memphis is actually 3rd in the West right now. That's huge, man. These Memphis Grizzlies looking like a contender to you?
Contender. I think they could push, second round of the playoffs. But once you get past that, I think they slow down a little bit. Still too young, but in about 2-3 years, I think they got it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Ja's been here before, man. Coming from Murray State, not a well-known college, taking them, that young team deep into the March Madness and the Final Four and stuff like that, taking this young Grizzlies team now on his back and putting them in position to be in the conversation for, like you said, in the playoff run. Maybe you win a first round matchup, but Ja is... Yeah, man. I think we saw it coming last year when he pushed them to get into the playoffs, right? In that play-in. He's coming a long way, man. Let's get Ja in the dunk contest. That's what we need.
That's what we need. Get Ja in the dunk contest. That'd be nice. But these Memphis Grizzlies, 3rd in the West, man. How's this West starting to shape out for you? You think they right about where they should be?
Yeah, I think they're right where they should be. I mean, obviously you got other teams struggling right now with injuries. So, yeah, I'm real high on the Grizzlies. I think they pushed to the 2nd seed. I think Golden State's starting to slow down with Draymond injury and stuff. So
yeah, but what about the 1st seed? Phoenix starting to pull away, huh?
Phoenix, I don't think they're slowing down at all. I think they run away with that. So
you mentioned Golden State, man. Yeah, they got the Draymond Green injury, but we've seen Klay Thompson back in the fold now.
The reemergence of the Splash Brothers. They're starting to look good again.
You got the noise of James Wiseman on the verge of coming back. But another young man who was a very high-touted prospect coming out of the draft class this year, Jonathan Kuminga, he's been hooping lately. We've seen the athleticism with him. So
he led the team in scoring the other night.
That's what I'm saying. So, hey, yeah, they struggling right now, but hey, Golden State's still going to be in that conversation. Sure.
Yeah, you got to love it, man. Any other teams that outside that top 3, Utah, Dallas, Denver, that you feel like could, be scary towards the second half of the season?
I mean, I think a lot of people are doubting them, but I got the Lakers. I mean, they're getting back to full strength. AD came back last night against Brooklyn. Just having his presence on the floor defensively helps them a lot, and they've really struggled in that department. So I think they push, I think they get to that 4 seed.
I think so. Utah I don't see why not, man. I mean, because the teams that I just named, they're not really like, top tier teams. So I definitely think the Lakers, why not? I mean, LeBron's playing his best basketball right now, that he's played in a long time.
Hopefully AD's been listening to the noise, man.
Oh, yeah.
Like Charles Barkley and Shaq on TV tell them, yo, step up.
And it seems like they're starting to get a lot of their shooters involved too.
Yeah.
Malik Monk's been having a lot of
he's
big
been
games.
They got to get him more minutes.
Austin Reeves stepping up as a rookie.
Mhm.
I mean, you get Kendrick Nunn back in about a week or two. So.
Agreed.
Now, do you think they need to make any moves? A lot of rumors with Russell Westbrook and, any noise
The
there?
most recent noise I saw was the Taylor Horton Tucker and Kendrick Nunn and a first-round pick for Jeremy Grant.
That's
That'd be
big.
nice. Yeah, Jeremy Grant should be coming back.
That's
off
a good
the
wing
injury
defender
soon.
that we really need. Ariza's old, can't really move like that.
Yeah,
LeBron's not, young anymore, but he can still defend at a high level. But
I like
getting
that
him would,
I think
bring
that'd
some
be the
youth.
perfect piece. I mean, he doesn't demand the ball, but he can get you a bucket as well.
Yep.
He can defend multiple positions. I think he could probably defend 3 or 4 positions. If you ask me.
And he can run the floor with you. So
Exactly.
And it gives-
you put him alongside AD and LeBron. I don't
yeah.
see why not. That's a great move for them.
And it gives Detroit, some big pieces, young movable pieces.
Yeah.
And
I'm a
everybody's
humongous
happy.
fan of Horton Tucker. Don't get me wrong. He's somebody else's star though. He's not the Lakers star because
unfortunately.
he needs to. I think he needs to be given the keys to somebody else's whip right about now because he's not going to get it over here in LA for a while.
Detroit would be a nice spot for him,
I think so.
young.
Right alongside
Cade
Cade.
Cunningham, you got Killian Hayes. So we got a nice young team over there.
They're young. Talking about Detroit and the Eastern Conference, let's switch over to the Eastern Conference. I mean, we're not going to talk about Detroit too much because, they're all the way at the bottom. But at the top of the Eastern Conference, Miami now, with Chicago, Brooklyn, and Milwaukee as the top 4. But, I mean, how you feel about these Miami Heat all of a sudden making a push? Jimmy Butler's playing some good basketball, isn't he?
Yeah, man. Miami's been looking real nice this year, and they haven't even played healthy at all. I mean, I think Bam, Jimmy, and Kyle Lowry played 14 games together this year.
Wow.
And I really, at the start of the year, I thought it was going to be LA and Miami rematch.
Yeah, I can see it. And, we've talked about how Kyle Lowry has been a humongous difference maker on his team. And, come playoff time, that's huge.
It's going to be huge. Another name, Victor Oladipo, should be,
They said right before All-Star break, he should be back.
Yeah, I've heard he's been making trips, starting to practice with them.
Yep.
So, man, that could be interesting. But so Miami's at the top of the East at this point in time. Chicago, Brooklyn, Milwaukee, Cleveland, Philly. Any of these other teams you could see in the Eastern Conference Finals for sure?
Chicago, for sure.
Chicago in the Eastern Conference Finals.
Chicago right after Miami for me in the East. I mean, maybe right now even above Miami. I mean, it hurts with Lonzo and Caruso going down. But when they get back, they're scary, man.
They are.
They're handsy on defense, get a lot of deflections, and offensively, you can't stop them. You got Levine putting up 25. You got DeRozan putting up 25. Lonzo is going to be Lonzo. And then you got Vooch also, having a double-double. So
I love it.
But their interior defense doesn't scare you in the playoffs?
Not against a team like Brooklyn. A team like Brooklyn, it doesn't scare me. But when it gets, Milwaukee and, the Sixers, that starts to get a little scary because you got Embiid, you got Giannis. But outside of those two teams right there, I don't see anybody threatening them.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I like Chicago. Got some nice young emerging teams in Cleveland and Charlotte. You see any of these guys maybe making a little push come playoff time?
Charlotte for sure. I mean, they're getting into the trade talks, trying to get Christian Wood. That's the final piece that they need right
That's what
there.
we've been saying for a while. Give them a big.
Final piece they need. And I think Christian Wood.
Plumlee.
Yeah, he's he's a good in the pick and roll with LaMelo, but you need a guy who can stretch the floor with that kind of, star. So I think
I agree.
Charlotte pushes him.
I think Mike Jordan, go get Christian Wood. Yo, for real. Like, I think that could be the final piece that they need to really contend. I agree.
Yeah.
But you mentioned earlier Joel Embiid, man. He's starting to pop up a lot more in people's MVP conversations. Let's touch on this MVP conversation a little more, man, because a couple episodes back we chopped it up and it was all about KD and Steph. And I mean, I feel like it's a lot more. There's a lot more players coming to play nowadays, man. Who you like in your MVP conversation?
I got Ja up there at number 1. I mean, 3rd in the West, 25 a game, 6 rebounds, 7 assists, shooting efficient from the field, 48 from the field, 77 from free throw line. And after that, I got LeBron, man. I know he's, 24 and 24, 8 seed in the West, but I mean, hey, Steph Curry was an 8 seed last year and everybody's talking about him.
This is true. It's true. But I mean, Steph Curry, he seemed to have, declined a little bit in the last few games. He hit a little bit of a wall, but I mean, he's still high in the MVP conversation. You would have to think, right?
Yeah, he's still up there for me.
And like Shaq said, the baddest man in the league right now, Joel Embiid, man. Got to throw him in the conversation. His last 4 games, I mean, he's scoring 42, 38, 40, and 50 points.
50 in 27 minutes.
All shooting above 50% field goal percentage.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Joel Embiid has pretty much got the Sixers on his back right now.
Yeah, and they're single-handedly has them 6th in the East, which is very respectable, man.
Absolutely.
So,
look for them to make some moves, man.
And like you said, if they end up playing somebody like a Brooklyn or Chicago in the first round, if he ends up being, he could be that X factor, man. That,
problem.
You know, that could be a huge problem.
Yes, sir.
For sure.
But yeah, man, you mentioned LeBron, and he does not get enough respect, enough love, man. This guy is 37 years old, leading the league in 30-point games, right?
Mm-hmm.
Second in the league in scoring. I mean, yeah, they're at 500 and they're 8th in the West, but I mean, he's doing it with a lot of injuries, especially AD. So, I mean, you got to give LeBron some type of love, man. It's like, you know, everybody talks about, you know, KD, he's playing great. You know, he's hurt right now, but, you know, and Giannis, he's always in the conversation. You know, they talk about Jokic, but how does this 37-year-old not get love, man? Jeez, he's playing great, man. We got to talk about LeBron a little more sometimes, man.
That's the GOAT right there.
I mean, I mean, is he your GOAT?
He's my GOAT.
He's your GOAT.
Hands down.
That's the young man's GOAT.
Man.
I respect him, man.
You in the Kobe corner. You Kobe certified. You
I got Kobe second.
Corner.
I got Kobe second.
Yeah, I mean, it's by the demographic and the era that you grew up in. I mean, we grew up in the Jordan, Kobe era, and now these the young guys are in the LeBron era. I mean,
then at the end of the day, numbers don't lie, right? I mean,
don't lie.
At this point in time, 3rd in all-time scoring. He's going to pass Karl Malone this season.
Yeah.
He's going to do it.
No doubt.
So he'll be second. I mean, accolades on top of accolades on top of championships. I mean, I'm not going to sit here and argue with him, with you, and say he's not in the conversation.
There is an argument. There is an argument.
Sure.
Yeah,
Michael Jordan is the greatest of all time.
And yeah, exactly.
It's a young, you know, the young mind, and I respect it. Like you said, I'm not going to argue either. But
yeah, I mean, shoot, I'm sitting here trying to argue for the man to be the MVP in his 19th season. So I'm not going to sit here and argue with you.
What he's able to do right now at his age with the team is
it's unbelievable.
It's unbelievable. I mean,
so
unbelievable, but believable at the same time.
He gets AD back. Do you still think the Lakers and Miami in the championship?
I'm going to switch it up. I'm going to keep LA in there, and I got Chicago. I'm going to go LA and Chicago.
Nice. Nice. Hey, Chicago Dog and Company would like to hear that one right there, man.
Yes, sir.
Hey, man.
But DeMar is playing out of it. I mean, big shot DeMar, man. Every game winner.
Is he in the MVP
he
conversation?
Doesn't get talked about enough in the MVP conversation.
Exactly.
He gets slept on a lot. Exactly. I think he's in there for sure. Exactly. I mean, number 2 in the East, you know, and again, leading that team, you know.
Exactly. And they've been battling injuries and COVID, and Alex Caruso is out, I think, 6 to 8 weeks.
6 to 8 weeks. Lonzo's out 4 to 6 with the meniscus tear. So
yeah. So I mean, DeMar's gonna have to step up even more, you know, to keep, you know, Chicago up there. But man, yeah, shouts to DeMar DeRozan, you know, getting it done, going back to the East and getting it done. He's got to be in the All-Star game, right? Hey, tell me. I mean, we chopped up the All-Star conversation, but votes have come in, and I think LeBron is leading the league in All-Star votes at this point in time.
Yeah.
I mean, who you got in your front court and your back court on each side? Is Ja one of your starters for sure?
Yeah. I've already got my votes in. Back court in the West, I got Steph. I got Ja. Front court, I got LeBron, Jokic, and I got Cat in there, man. Cat has been super slept on this year, and they're 7th seed in the West too, so don't sleep on them. And then over in the East, I got DeRozan. I got Trae Young, James Harden, Jason Tatum, and Embiid. With KD's injury right now, it's just throws him out for me.
Yeah, he's already come out saying he's going to skip out on an All-Star game anyway. So
I mean, that's respectable. That's respectable for sure. James Harden's been playing a lot better since he's been out. So I mean, he's definitely in that conversation. I like your picks, man. You know, we had Javi on the show a couple weeks back, and he talked up Chris Paul, and I'm not going to leave Chris Paul out of this All-Star MVP segment because he needs to be mentioned, because the Phoenix Suns are at the top of the West. My man is leading the league in assists, and he's just been their most consistent piece this year, man. Shouts out to Chris Paul, not leaving you out, homie.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, any other young All-Stars you need to see in that game?
LaMelo Ball.
LaMelo Ball.
Hands down. I mean, that's everything you want to see in an All-Star game. You know, the flashiness, you know, the cool passes, the lobs. half-court shots.
What about his homie Miles Bridges? You think he makes it, man?
Yeah, I also think he gets most improved player of the year.
Nice. Over Cole Anthony?
Yeah.
Over John Morant?
I think Jaws is playing so great. He's in that MVP conversation.
Okay.
That's a trick question. That's good. Yeah.
All right. I like it, man. All right, gentlemen. Well, that's all the time we got for today. My man, Isaiah, I appreciate you joining the show. Man, good luck to you at Southeastern University.
Appreciate it. Thank you for having me, man.
Great job, man.
And Big J, appreciate you holding down that Kobe corner.
Yo, man, shouts out to the Mamba, man. We just passed the anniversary of the Mamba's death, man. So, Kobe, this one's for you, brother.
It's true. And as usual, thank you guys for watching. Make sure you like and subscribe us on YouTube. Check us out at sportjv.com. Check out the, winter section. It's game time. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at sportjv1. And speaking of Kobe, I'm going to give you guys a quote from my man, Tom Brady, that he said, you never know what's going to happen in the future. He was talking in regards to Kobe Bryant. He says, we think we're going to live forever. We're not. We think we're going to play forever. We're not. What we can do is we can enjoy the moments we have. Thank you guys for watching.